Hi friends, in the last videos we covered very clearly, sir, what is exception hierarchy, which class acts as a root for all exceptions, what is the difference between exception and error. Now the next most valuable question for the interview room, if you go for any Java interview, this question is compulsory question from exception and answer. Such type of beautiful concept we are going to discuss. Please take a bit very special care. Okay, sir, what that concept? What is the difference between checked versus unchecked exceptions? What is the difference between checked versus unchecked exceptions? You people should have clear clarity about this one, sir. Sir, next, moreover, if you understand this concept, now the next remaining topics of exception handling will become very easy, especially throws keyword. Throws keyword always associated with checked exceptions. First you should be aware what is checked exception, then you can easily understand throws keyword. Next, how to define our own customized exceptions. It is also associated with unchecked exceptions. That's why if you want to understand, okay, next things very easily, compulsory you people should require to take very much care here. Next, moreover, it's very important for the interview room. Without asking this question in the Java interview, there is no chance of interview, right? That's why almost crores of times asked question in the interview room. What is the difference between checked exception and unchecked exception? Remember. Sir, now can you please tell what is checked exception? You respond. What is checked exception? What is unchecked exception? Sir, somewhere at my childhood, somewhere I may heard from my students saying the exceptions which occurs at compile time are called checked exceptions. The exceptions which occurs at runtime are called unchecked exceptions, right? Sir, let me repeat again. The exceptions which occurs at compile time are called checked exceptions. The exceptions which occurs at runtime are called unchecked exception. Sir, this type of answers most of the people are going to tell. Even in your mind also, this definition may be there. Okay, this statement 100% pakka wrong statement. Remember this one, sir. Whether exception is checked exception or unchecked exception, compulsory every exception should occur at runtime only. There is no chance of occurring any exception at a compile time. Then immediately we ask, sir, at compile time we are getting some errors. Those things are syntactical errors, but not runtime exceptions. Remember this one, sir. Whether it is a checked exception, whether it is unchecked exception, always occurs at runtime only. Okay, at compile time there is no chance of occurring any exception. Okay, compile time what we are going to get syntactical errors. We have to correct those things. That is not exception. It is not part of exception handling. Clear for all of you, right? Okay, well. Then, sir, if this is not the definition, then what is checked exception or what is unchecked exception? Okay, very simple. I want to tell with a small analogy, you people can able to understand very easily, right? Sir, do you know, I hope you people remember your 10th class days. In our life, first time, do you know, we have public exams. Everyone is a bit panic about 10th class exams, okay, because they are which is going to decide our life, our future. The 10th class exams, right? Everyone, including parents, also a bit panic. Assume that first day you are ready to start for the first exam. Do you know, I hope you people just remember your 10th class days. So you are ready to go for first day exam. Then at the house, n number of formalities are there. Do you know, special puja with the god. Getting special puja. If I'm going to get 500 marks or 10 out of 10, then automatically I will come to directly Tirumala. I will hand over special agreement with the god. Special puja we are going to do that. Your all ticket, your pen, everything is going to take nearby god, and special puja we are going to do that. Next, you are ready to start for the exam. Assume that. Then automatically your mother or your sister is coming. Okay, sentiments are there, like all those. Do you know, just ready to start. Then immediately your mother is going to ask, Arey, can you please cross check? Have you took all ticket or not? Okay, usually whenever we are ready to go for the exam, most of the times our mother or father, they will alert, Arey, can you please cross check whether you took a hall ticket or not. Okay, like, now I have one small doubt, sir. If I'm not taking hall ticket, the problem at a runtime, invigilator is not examiner, is not allowed into exam hall. Okay, but there is no problem at the house. Are you getting? At the beginning, no problem. At runtime, there is a problem. If my mother is going to ask, Array, can you please cross check whether you took hall ticket or not? If the mother is going to ask that, if we are checking whether I took hall ticket or not, then there is no chance of hall ticket missing. Are you getting that? There is no chance of hall ticket missing. Happily at runtime, my execution will become very smooth. Are you getting right? So hall ticket missing exception is a very common exception. If someone is going to alert about this hall ticket missing exception, then at runtime my execution of the program will be very smooth. Now my question is, whether you took a hall ticket or not, who is checking? Who is checking here? Your mother is checking or your father is checking. The same way compiler will check. Compiler will check whether you are handling this particular exception or not. Boss, at runtime, maybe a chance of a particular exception is there. There is a possibility, man. Whether you are handling or not, compiler will check. If you are not handling, immediately compiler will give left and right. Remember that. The exceptions which are checked by compiler for smooth execution of the program at runtime, these exceptions are by default considered as what? Checked exceptions, right? So checked exceptions should be handled by programmer. How the programmer is going to handle? Try, catch, throws, that part we are going to discuss. The exceptions which are checked by compiler for smooth execution of the program at a runtime, whether programmer handling or not, these things are going to be checked by compiler. Such a type of exceptions are by default considered as checked exceptions. All the people are in a position to understand, right? Who is going to check? Checked exception. Checked exception. Who is going to check? Compiler will check whether the programmer handling this exception or not. Such type of exceptions are by default considered as what? Checked exceptions, right? Clear? Not required to keep any explanation. That's why. So first exception, hall ticket missing exception. Are you getting? Hall ticket missing exception. This is the checked exception, right? Okay, mother can check, compiler is checking, forget about compiler, mother is always going to check, because it's a very common exception for the exam student. The people who are going for the exam, minimum in a center 10 to 20 members are always going to miss hall ticket, right? If the mother is going to alert, then there is no such type of problem. So the exceptions which are checked by mother, which are checked by compiler, whether the programmer handling or not, for smooth execution of the program at runtime, these exceptions are by default considered as what? Checked exceptions, right? Yes, friends, all the things are very clear. Let me go for one more example, just to get the clarity, right? Sir, suppose, best example, this is also one example related to the exam only. Mother, first question she is asking, Array, can you please cross check? Can you please cross check whether you took hall ticket or not? Okay, first case completed. You showed immediately, mother, I took already hall ticket, don't worry, like you are telling, sir, you gave the bharosa. Okay, well, now the next thing, immediately mother will check, Array, while writing exam, pen may not work. Are you getting? Pen may not work. It's a very common thing. In our regular class only, sometimes pen may not work. Okay, in the exam, it's also very common. Array, while writing exam, pen may not work. So pen not working exception is a very common exception for the exam student. Correct or not? Pen not working exception. Array, maybe a chance, man, your pen may not work. Are you taking extra pen or not? Mother asked, sir. Are you getting? So mother just asked, are you taking extra pen or not? So now I have one doubt. If my pen is not working in the exam, then the problem is at runtime. But why the mother is asking at the beginning, Array, have you took extra pen or not? Why the mother is going to ask? If the mother alert me about this situation, at runtime. Yes, even pen is not working, I have alternative pens also, so that happily my program execution will become very smooth. Are you getting right? The exception which are checked by compiler whether programmer handling or not for smooth execution of the program at runtime. These exceptions are by default considered as what? Checked exceptions. I hope everyone in the position to understand, right? So whenever mother asked, "Arey, if the pen not working, if the pen not working exception occurs, how you can handle?" Then immediately I showed, "Mother, so I have 3 extra pens are there. By using these 3 extra pens, I can able to handle. Don't worry," like you told. So mother satisfied with all the answers, whatever answers you provided. Then you are ready to start for the exam. Are you getting right? So same way here in our programming, compiler is going to check whether you are handling most commonly raised exceptions or not. So for if compiler is going to check if you are already prepared to handle at runtime, if really that exception is going to come, no problem at all. We are in a position to handle. Smooth execution of the program is guaranteed. Such type of exceptions which are checked by compiler are called checked exceptions. Clear for all of right? So pen not working exception, pen not working exception, not working exception. Okay, these things are checked exceptions, right? So theoretically, okay sir, can you please show with a small program so that we are in a position to understand clearly, right? You people may ask. Very simple sir, have a look once, observe a bit carefully sir. I'm taking a small program, class tester. I'm taking a small program, class tester. Public static void main method, public static void main method, string array args, public static void main, string array args. Now print writer pw, print writer pw is equal to new print writer pw is equal to new print writer of abc.txt. Observe carefully. Print writer pw is equal to new print writer of abc.txt. pw dot print ln of hello, like this I took sir. pw dot print of hello, print ln of hello, like this I'm taking. Now print writer present inside java.io package. Are you getting right? That's why import java.io.star also I'm taking. Observe carefully sir. A small program I wrote. Now take a bit very special care. Sir, who is the responsible to check exception? Who is the responsible to check? Compiler will check whether the programmer handling or not. If the programmer not handling, compiler won't accept the code to compile. Immediately compile method you are going to get. Observe that. Now I will ask, "Arey, what activity I am doing?" Just simply I am writing hello to abc.txt. That's all I am doing. Hello to abc.txt. This is what I am doing, right? Now I will ask the compiler, "Hey compiler, can you please compile this code?" Are you getting? Compiler, can you please compile this code? Like this I am asking the compiler. Then immediately compiler is going to tell, "Durga, sorry, I can't compile." "Arey, I can't compile." Then I will ask, what is the reason? "Durga, you are trying to write hello to abc.txt. If abc.txt file is not available, then there may be a chance of file not found exception. Correct or not? In your program, there is a possibility of file not found exception where you didn't take care about this one. That's why, sorry, I don't want to handle. I'm not going to compile this code. I won't compile this code, like compiler is going to tell." Are you getting? So compiler checking whether you are handling file not found exception or not. Okay, remember. So what compile time methods are? Exact compile time method. Observe. Unreported exception, java.io.file not found exception, java.io.file not found exception must be caught or declared to be, must be caught or declared to be thrown. Are you getting? Must be caught or declared to be thrown. This is the comparative error we are going to get. I hope you are in the position to understand, right? So simply compiler is asking, hey Durga, you didn't report about file not found exception. Okay, there is a possibility of file not found exception. So must be caught or declared to be thrown. This is the exact comparative error you are going to get. Sir, now I will ask one question. Is it the file not found exception occurs? No, it is not exception in thread main file not found exception. Compiler is telling Durga, there is a possibility of file not found exception. You didn't report about this exception. That's why I can't compile this code. This is like this compiler is going to ask. So means that file not found exception, whether you are handling or not handling, compiler is checking, right? That's why this file not found exception is considered checked exception, sir. File not found exception is the best example to understand what is the checked exception, right? Let me execute this code. Let me show this comparative error. Have a look once, sir. Very simple terminology here. Legend this. Sir, what is the code? Can you please guide? I forgot. Array print writer pw is equal to new print writer of abc.txt. Print writer pw is equal to new print writer of abc.txt. pw.println or print anything you can take, no problem at all. Sir, hello, like this, right? And sir, print writer is available inside IO package import java.io.start. Okay, that's all. This is the program what we have. Now let me compile this code. Now let me compile this code, sir. Java C tester.java. Observe that very carefully. Durga, there is a possibility of file not found exception. You didn't report about this exception. How I can compile this code? Like this comparative error by default you are going to get, sir. Okay, remember that. Now have a look once. Observe carefully, sir. What is the exception we are getting? Unreported exception, file not found exception, must be caught or declared to be thrown. Are you getting? Must be caught or declared to be thrown, sir. Means that file not found exception not occurs. Compiler is telling Durga, there is a possibility of file not found exception. Compulsory you have to report either by using try catch or by using throws keyword. Like this compiler is going to search check. These type of exceptions are by default considered as checked exceptions. All the people are in the position to understand, right? The most valuable important concept for the interview rooms are which is checked exception. The exceptions which are checked by compiler for smooth execution of the program at a runtime, whether the programmer handling or not. Such type of checking is going to be done by compiler. Such type of thing is by default considered as checked exception. Can you please give an example for checked exceptions, sir? File not found exception. Next, hall ticket missing exception, pen not working exception. These things are examples for checked exceptions, right? Are you feeling comfortable? Respond, man. Are you feeling comfortable? Clear, right? Can I go for one more example so that our next exception handling life will become very easy? Just observe. Let me go for another small example, right? Here observe, I'm taking class test. Observe a bit very carefully, sir. Second example, class test. Public static void main method, string array args. Public static void main, string array args. Okay, now the next thing what I'm trying to take, system.out.println, I want to sleep very happily. I want to sleep very happily. Okay, like this, right? Sometimes we may not have that much happy sleep, even just we are sleeping, that's all. So we may not. I want to sleep very happily. Okay, how much times thread dot sleep of 1000 milliseconds? Are you getting? Thread dot sleep of 1000 milliseconds. Now in this program, of course it's associated with multi-threading, where exception handling is a very common requirement. That scenario I'm explaining. In this program, how many threads are there? How many threads are there? Even in the last videos also I told. Okay, every Java program compulsory contain one thread. What is that threads are? Main thread. Are you getting? Every Java program compulsory contains one thread. What is that thread? Main thread, right? Now, sir, do you know main thread want to sleep for some time. Main thread want to sleep for some time. How much time? 1000 milliseconds, means 1 second main thread want to sleep, sir. This is the code what I wrote. After 1 second sleeping, the program will be stopped because no other code is there, sir. Now my question is, I will ask, array compiler, can you please compile this code? Compiler, can you please compile this code? Like this I will ask. Simply compiler is going to tell, Durga, I can't compile. Durga, I can't compile. Array, what is the problem? Simply compiler is going to ask, Durga, you are calling thread.sleep method. Main thread will entered into sleeping state. Are you getting? Main thread will entered into sleeping state. If the main thread entered into sleeping state, then there may be a chance other threads may interrupt this sleeping main thread. Yes, suppose you are in sleeping, man, in the room you are in sleeping. Your friend, array, please wake up, shall we go for movie, or shall we go for chai, or shall we go for class? Maybe a chance, yeah, someone is going to interrupt, you are sleeping. So some other thread may be a chance of interrupting this sleeping person. Sir, if a sleeping person got interrupted, immediately interrupted exception we are going to get. What is that exception? Interrupted exception we are going to get. Now the compiler will ask only one scenario, only one question. Durga, in your example, there may be a chance of interrupted exception. You didn't report about this exception. How I can compile this code? Are you getting, Durga? Whenever you are using sleep method, there is a possibility of interrupted exception. You didn't report about this exception. How I can compile this code? Compiler will always give left and right. What exact errors are? Observe that compile time error. Unreported exception. Which exceptions are? Interrupted exception. Unreported exception, interrupted exception must be caught or declared to be thrown. Are you getting? Must be caught or declared to be thrown. This is the compile time error we are going to get. Sir, observe very carefully. Unreported exception, interrupted exception must be caught or declared to be thrown. It doesn't mean interrupted exception occurs. Are you getting it? Doesn't mean interrupted exception occurs. Just compiler simply telling that there is a possibility of interrupted exception. You didn't report about this exception. That's why. So I can't accept this code to compile. Like compile time error you are going to get. Are you getting right? The exceptions which are checked by compiler, whether programmer handling or not, for smooth execution of the program at runtime, such type of exceptions are called checked exceptions, right? Interrupted exception is another example for checked exception. Okay, sir, now let me execute this code. Have a look once. Sir, here have a look. Sir, class test public static void main. I want to sleep very happily. Threaded.sleep. The danger line is about this one, sir. This is the most dangerous. Danger line. Now have a look once, sir, about this one. Now I'm trying to compile. What is the compile time error? Sir, unreported exception. Which exceptions are? Java.lang.interrupted exception must be caught or declared to be thrown. This is the compile time error you are going to get. So interrupted exception is another example for checked exceptions, right? Up to this is the clear. What is a checked exception? the exceptions which are checked by compiler for smooth execution of the program at runtime, whether programmer handling or not. Such type of exceptions are called checked exception. Can you give an example for checked exception? Okay, file not found exception, interrupted exception, hall ticket missing exception, pen not working exception. These things are checked exceptions. Everyone got the clarity? What is checked exception? By mistake, if interview person is asking what is checked exception, go left and right. Clear, right?